All right, boys and girls, we're back. I've been gone a couple of days. I really don't like being gone. I think I said this last time. I really don't like being gone a few days. Just work is work, and I wasn't able to record videos. But I'm trying. I'm trying to get, especially now, I'm trying to get a bunch of videos together, put out a bunch in one day, and then try and trickle some out over the week. That way, I have a constant flow of stuff going. But I wasn't really able to get a day to do it. I thought I would have one the other day, but I was only able to get out a couple of videos. But anyway, that's not the point. Uh, let's start this video off. This is a pretty good news, actually, for anyone who's been following this story. This is out of Texas. This was a young child. I believe he was 7. Yeah, he's 7, and there was basically a custody battle between his dad and his mom. It's been going on for a while. The mom wanted to transition the son to a girl, saying that since the age of 3 he wanted to play with McDonald's toys as a female, and that is why, or female McDonald's toys and stuff like that. And she changed his name to like Luna, and the dad was like, this is insanity. He's got a twin brother, and the dad was trying to get sole custody of them to make these kind of decisions because his mom wanted to put him on puberty blockers, which is actual insanity. I don't understand how anyone could think putting a 7-year-old on puberty blockers is a good idea. I get if somebody wants to be transgender. I understand. Like, I'm the kind of guy where I don't care what you do as long as it doesn't hurt anybody. But you're hurting this child. They need to at least go through puberty. Let the kid grow up and understand what life is first. And if they want to transition after, if they decide it's for them, then sure. But a 7-year-old has no concept of what this is. It's kind of insane. But let's go ahead and read it, and we'll talk about the good news for it. Breaking: Judge rules dad will have say in gender transition of 7-year-old. The judge presiding over the case of Jeffrey Younger, the father who is trying to protect his 7-year-old son James from chemical castration via gender transition, ruled today that parents will have joint conservatorship over James, which includes making joint medical decisions for the child. Judge Kim Cooks of the 255th District also put a gag order on the father so that he cannot speak to the press about the case, and decided that the father should not pay attorney fees. The judge's decision means that Save James website will also have to be shut down. And I'm going to skip here because it's just describing the case. Most of you probably already know about it. On Monday, a jury ruled 11-1 the current joint managing conservatorship should be replaced by a sole managing conservatorship, and that Mr. Younger should not be that person. So they're going to give total decision making to the mom who wants to transition the child. That was the original ruling, and this is the newest update on it, where Miss Cooks didn't basically shut that down. But I don't actually know, based on what the judge had said and the way the trial was going, I don't know if that would have been the case if people didn't make such a big deal out of it. Now, this part is, I wanted to stop here because the reason I think she put the gag order on Mr. Younger is because of the outrage, basically. Mr. Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, put out this tweet, said, FYI, the matter of 7-year-old James Younger is being looked into by the Texas Attorney General's Office and the Texas State Department of Family and Protective Services. When this original ruling of the jury came out, there was a huge uproar. There was, as you can see, there's an ad here for the petition. I think the petition got like 40,000 signatures in a day. Kim Cooks was getting blown up on Twitter. The governor's office and the district were all getting blown up by emails and letters and calls about this because it's actually crazy. I think she had to put this gag order on him because after that came out, if he goes talking to the press, this is gonna blow up. The site was already getting a ton of stuff, ton of support, money coming in, I believe, on that one, and then obviously the petition. So I think she had to shut that down just to try and control it. It was getting a little out of control for her. Let me read on. Judge Cook's ruling was originally scheduled for Wednesday afternoon, but was delayed. As I said before, I think she originally had a ruling, but got a talking to by the district attorney. when a seasoned civil courts journalist from the Dallas Morning News asked the court clerk for the ruling schedule and provided her the specific case number, she confirmed that the day, but refused to share the time of the ruling. Since kindergarten, Dr. George Gulas has enrolled James in school as a girl under the name Luna. She began telling him he's a girl when he was just 3 and testified in court that she began to believe that whenever he liked a McDonald's toy meant for girls. James' pediatrician records also indicated Dr. George Gulas has met with Genesis, a medical transition clinic in Dallas, and is considering hormone suppression when James was 8 or 9 years old. I just wanted to stop here for a second. Who didn't like girls' toys and stuff when they were a kid? Like, look, I think I've said it before. I was a broke kid. You just played with what you got to play with. We played with Barbies and stuff. Not like we played house and stuff with them, but we like fight them with the other toys and stuff. And we play with any toys we got. I don't know. Obviously, we didn't play dress up with them, but it's not that big of a deal for a little boy to play with girls' toys. Like, I don't. Why would you suspect your boy is transgender at the age of 3 just because he likes a girl's toy? Like, you're saying kids can't like any kind of toy. When a kid is 3 years old, he has no concept of what is girly and what's boyish unless you tell him what it is. It's just insane. Prior to this case, Dr. George Gulas had exclusive rights to make decisions regarding the psychological and psychiatric care for James and Jude. She needed to inform Mr. Younger of her decisions, but he couldn't weigh in on or change the decisions. Genesis wouldn't begin James on puberty blockers without Mr. Younger's consent. Dr. George Gulas and Mr. Younger's messy custody dispute entailed in part the latter filing a counter petition to the court requesting sole managing conservatorship in order to obtain the ability to make decisions on psychological and psychiatric care. This would have given him the ability to prevent James from starting puberty blockers or cross-sex hormones. Mr. O'Donnell told supporters that an appeal takes about a year and that it would be very difficult to overturn a jury ruling. There were also 3 news agents there, blah, blah, blah. A petition created by LifeSite News in support of Jeffrey Younger's effort to protect his son from being transitioned to a girl has been signed by over 58,000 people. All right. Anyway, that's the article. Hopefully, there's some more good news coming out of this because even people who are transitioning, like, I don't know how you could support this. A child of 7 years old has no concept of their gender. And if they do, it's whatever their parents have put upon them. You have to wait. At 7 years old, I had no idea about any of this. Look, the only thing kids understand about gender is what their parents teach them. So if your mom is teaching you that you should be a girl or encouraging these kind of behaviors, unless you are staunchly against it as a child, you can be easily influenced. Your kids at this age get everything from you. So whenever you start at the age of 3 giving those hints to this kid, you're planting a seed in their brain that that's where they need to go. So I don't understand how a court could ever rule this or how a judge could ever support this. And I'm very glad that Mr. Abbott got involved. I'm very glad that so many people cared about it to care about this kid, because whether they end up being whatever they want to be, whether they end up wanting to be a girl or wanting to be a guy, and the way they present themselves, it should be up to them. And you shouldn't be planting these seeds in their brain and messing them up. This is why people kill themselves when they're older. It's when they're confused as a kid, and I hate to say it's abuse, but it's abuse of people who don't understand the ramifications of what's happened. This kid doesn't understand at 7 what's going on. So when you make these big changes to his life, you stop puberty from happening. His brain doesn't fully develop, and at 17, he's more confused than he was at 7 about his gender. And when he's going through probably the roughest part of his life, like even a normal 17-year-old, me as a normal 17-year-old, I was confused and depressed. I can't imagine what a kid who was stopped from going through puberty and has been on hormones since he was 7 and confused into thinking he's a girl at 7 when he has no concept of that. I can't imagine what that has to go through. This or what they have to go through. Like, this is why bad things happen to these kids, and I just hate to see it. Like, you have to let them make their own decisions, and that's really all I have to say about that. Please post in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Thank you. My name is Gavin Lee, and this is my channel, LeeCast. Thanks for watching. I put out videos most days on current events, politics, and more. Please subscribe and give me advice on more of what you'd like to see and help me build this channel into not only a source for all things political and current for you, but also a place less polarized by political insanity, a whole lot more common sense and discussion, and a lot less two-party bias. Subscribe below and comment on what you'd like to see. Thank you.